Loud. Yes, welcome to Gene Key Goddesses, the Path of Love. And we've got a Lillian right over here. Woo, see her hand. Okay. Let me. So is that Willow trying to? What about me? What about me? Everybody forgets about me. Okay. So we are talking about the path of love. Boom, 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 boom. So the theme here is when the mind meets the heart. When the mind meets the heart. So we're going to do a bit of grounding. There's three parts to this lesson. What is the path of love? What are our IQ patterns and our emotional defenses? Our EQ patterns and our emotional wounds. We'll do a somatic exercise to soften the heart's wall, an inner child ritual to meet the original wound, and we'll do a little bit of group reflection. Actually, that part probably won't be recorded. So after we do the inner child ritual, I'll probably just close that off, and that'll be the end of our session. And then we'll dive deep into my chart and Lillian's chart, because that's who we have here today. Sweet. Yes. So, welcome everybody today as we enter one of the most tender and transformative pathways in the Venus sequence, the path of love. The path of love. Where the intellect and the emotional body learn to work together instead of against each other. So we're gonna start with a centering breath. I'll walk you through it and then just follow it along. We're gonna inhale to a count of 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6. And as we exhale, we're gonna soften the jaw, the eyes, and the tongue. Put one hand on your heart and one on your forehead. Yes. So the centering breath, we're gonna inhale for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6. Do that again. Inhale for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6. And our shared intention is I open my heart to understanding and I open my mind to compassion. So, part 1 is what is the path of love? The path of love reveals how your mind learned to protect you. And so that's your IQ. It equals your mental defense mechanism. And that was created when we were somewhere between 14 and 21 years of age. We're also going to talk about how our emotional body learned to survive. This is your EQ. This is where your emotional defense mechanisms were created, 4 to 7. And then we're going to see how these patterns collide. So the IQ says, okay, we can think your way out of this. And your EQ says, we're going to feel your way through it. So you can see those are diametrically opposed themes and visions. We're going to talk about what creates emotional reactivity in relationships, love that triggers the original wound. And finally, what heals the relationship between your mind and your heart. And so the trifecta here is compassion, presence, and softness. So as we cultivate this, just be open to this phrase. Your EQ, your emotional quotient, is the child who felt. Your IQ is the adult who learned to hide what the child felt. The path of love helps them both to reunite.
Music, perfectly timed.
It was, and I didn't even try that. So, part two are our IQ patterns and mental defenses. And it just turned up, didn't it? Not funny. And so, our IQ sphere was formed in adolescence. It builds on the beliefs, the logic, the personal identity, and it protects the heart by predicting fear. So, some of the common IQ defense patterns are overthinking, judging, fixing, silencing, retreating, pleasing, perfectionism, and hypervigilance. I think I got all of them.
All of the above.
Bing, 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 bing. And so here, we want to understand that the mind protects the heart by staying one step ahead of the pain. It's out there. It's always future casting, looking for any troubles. And we explain that this protection becomes a pattern that shows up in all of your relationships. And some examples might include I need to explain myself, over explain, I should have stayed quiet, let me fix this situation quickly, this is too much, I'm shutting down. So it could look like that. Does that have resonance with anybody?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Me too.
Okay.
Part three addresses the EQ patterns and the emotional wounds. The EQ pattern, the sphere was formed between 4 and 7 years of age. It carries the primary emotional imprints. If you're an empath, you could just 10x it because you're taking in all of those thoughts and feelings from the people that cared for you. And most of the people I know are empaths, so tag you're it. And this EQ holds the original love wound. So we're going to dive deep into that. Some of the common EQ wounds are fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, fear of being misunderstood, fear of disappointing others, fear of conflict, fear of not being enough. And so some common emotional reaction patterns look like crying, freezing. I do that a lot. I freeze. Lashing out, shutting down. I'll do that too. I'm good at that. Pleasing. I'm really good at that one. Retreating and numbing. I'm really, really good at that one. So I'd like to hear about what were some of the ones you are really good at. And remember, your EQ shows how your heart learned to survive when it wasn't safe to feel. So now we're going to do a somatic exercise. It's called softening the heart's wall. And so the purpose is to move awareness from the intellect to the heart. So place one hand over the heart and place the other over the solar plexus and breathe into both hands and visualize a wall or armor around your heart and breathe warmth into this armor and let it soften 1% at a time. Whisper inwardly, it's safe to feel. Exhale. Whisper inwardly, my emotions are welcome. Exhale. Inhale and whisper, I can stay present. And let your body become heavy. Let your heart become warm. Let your defenses melt just enough to feel your own presence. Excellent. Excellent. Before we do our deep dive, we are going to do an inner child ritual. So make sure you've got piece of paper and a pen.
Hmm.
Do you need a piece of paper?
I do if I do.
You do, you do.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So we're going to bring attention to your childhood heart and picture yourself standing in front of you, a child version of you. And as you're standing in front of yourself, make note of the age of that version of you that you see and notice how you feel. Notice what you need right now,
The little one.
little one. And you can offer your little child, your inner child, a hand, a hug, or just simply to be there. And if she tells you how she's feeling, just respond. And as you're witnessing her, write down what emotion did you learn to suppress? What emotion did you learn to suppress? And another 30 seconds. And what did you wish someone had said to you back then? Another 30 seconds to wrap up. Okay. As we wrap that up, last question. What do you need from me now? What do you need from me now? You're asking your inner child. And again, take note of how old you think she is. Excellent, excellent. And so next, we're going to do some group reflection, some partner reflection. But since my partner's right here, we're going to go off right now. And so if you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. Everyone should have received a personalized dive deep into your EQ and your IQ, and it includes journal prompts and tapping to go along with it. So love to hear your feedback on those deep dives. Talk to you another time.